absolutely slagging off one of our peers.
No. Yeah, we're recording now. Piers Morgan.
And I say Mike Rice is a good dude, regardless of what we just said about him.
Yeah,
That's right.
he's a good dude, a good, honest man.
You know,
Mike Rice.
he's troubled.
He's troubled. He's
means
a bit
well.
of a mad cunt, but he means well. I've never been around him when he's like drunk or on coke or anything like that. So I don't know. I can't imagine him being, because he's already fucking dialed up.
It's. Do you know what I have? I have like rules when it comes to drinking.
Yeah.
And like one of my things is once I start drinking, I don't do shots.
Right.
Because I like drinking, and I go shots are a thing that people who don't drink do on nights out.
Yeah.
As a way of going, yeah, we're gonna elevate some level, and it's like cool. We're just mixing all of the wrong things together.
Yeah.
Even though I'll be on a cocktail, whatever. That's a stupid thing to do.
Right.
And I think I've been with Mike, and he's one of those people who like. There's that point where he will drink to blackout.
Right.
Whereas
Black up. I've seen that happen many times.
Yeah, Mike comes out the bathroom. You're like, what's he been doing in there? Has he got a bit of white on him? Oh no, he's got a bit of black. Oh shit, Mike blacked up in the toilet. Mike, you can't do the voice and the shoe polish.
It's in his next show. Him at Vicker Street.
I have a friend. I won't say who.
Yeah.
Years ago in Edinburgh, they were doing like this comedian's version of Take Me Out, and it was quite a fun thing. It was at the Grand. It was about, it's like 25 comic. It was a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
And it was a talent round, so you had to decide what your talent was if you made it to the talent round. And I had a friend who like rang the producer jokingly and was like, "Hey, I was thinking for the talent round. This is like 10 years ago." He goes like, "For the talent round, I've just got some shoe polish and I'm just gonna black up." And the producer went, "Okay, let me check with the venue if that's allowed." And we were all there like, "I don't think that's insane."
Yeah.
And she rang back and she went, "Hi, they've said there might be some black people in, so it's best not to."
I love the idea that if the crowd was white, they're like, green light. Yeah,
That was the crazy thing. It was like, the black people. It was like, I don't think anyone on that stage, like all the other comics, would be going, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
And they were like, it might upset some people.
Yeah.
And we were like, Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone rings you up and asks that, you should go, "No, you fucking racist. You can't do that on a charity gig."
I love the idea that
the charity, like for black people, the charity.
I love that the idea that that's a talent. Just put black polish, like no one can do this like me.
No. When it's done well.
Yeah, we're all just sat there going, this shouldn't have even made it part. The phone should have been put down immediately, and you should have got a text going, "You're no longer on the gig. You can't be here." That's not okay.
You have to wonder if there's some black people who would admire the balls to
for sure
go out and do that. You know? If they were in the crowd, they'd be like, yeah, that takes balls.
There's probably some black people that are like, "I like blackface."
Yeah.
I want it to be compliments. The only way you could get around it is if he did it early, because presumably they'd all be late anyway.
Early, you mean?
Let's turn up.
Which on first?
Just turn up and be like, "Who's the black guy?"
By early, do you mean the 1800s?
We've got a time machine. You're going to open for Roy Chubby Brown.
But that's I find that outrage. I don't know. There's that guy Drewski, and he did a sketch where he like whited up.
Right.
And white people were trying to like conservative, like right wing white people were trying to do that feign outrage thing.
Yeah.
Of this is a double set, and it's like, no white people actually give a fuck if you do that. No, we couldn't care less because the thing is, we're good at racism.
Mm.
Like, we're really good at it.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's like if you look at the history of like the Black and White Minstrel Show and all of these things, and Al Joel's and all of it was deep rooted in like racism and this idea of what black people were, and also here's a role for a black person. We could get a black person, but no, we're just gonna get a white guy.
We can't have them on set.
Yeah.
It's like when
it was for safety.
Yeah. They're gonna steal the cameras. We can't have them here. Like, and that was the logic.
Yeah.
So when like a black person whites up, it's completely like
it's fine.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
It's like Ben Kingsley played Gandhi and he browned up.
But he is part Indian.
Is he part Indian?
Is he? I didn't know that.
He's part Indian. So he gets away. Because I believe it's Othello.
Yeah.
Othello is, I think, I might be talking about, Othello is black.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I right? Yeah.
Oh,
so,
Othello. I thought you were saying a fellow.
No, I know my
Right.
friends actually
black
saying a fella.
Saying a fellow.
You know, there's a fella. He's black. He's all right.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah.
And
Wait, Othello.
the Shakespeare play.
Shakespeare play. Yeah.
Yeah, and they like it would be that the character, like, again in like the sort of like 1500s when the character was like, which I think if anyone's cancelling 1500 Shakespearean actors, we've gone too far, too far.
Let's
back.
dig them up.
God, they must have been tough gigs doing Shakespeare. Like, 'cause you've got all the fucking poor people standing in the middle of the globe or whatever.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the hecklers that we have now. Like, there's no way they would have been well behaved. They would have been throwing shit out of
No,
it.
yeah, our play.
Yeah.
Rotten fruit and fuck. Isn't there a venue in London where
Globe.
it's like the Globe?
Yeah, I
They
think
rebuilt
so.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
nice.
original was the Rose Theatre, and that burnt down, I think. And then that burnt down years ago, and then they just like moved it up the road.
Right. Okay.
I think there's only ever been like 2 cancellations of performances there due to weather, because it's an open air theatre.
Oh, it's an open air theatre.
So there's only been 2 times, like in the history, where they went the same way. Like the Tower of London, they've never missed doing the ceremony of keys.
Yeah. What's the ceremony of keys?
Some real English shit, man.
Right.
Like if you went to it,
Yeah.
you'd
I'd hate
get your
it,
kneecap would come out. Right? Do you know the ceremony of keys?
No.
It's this thing. I've seen it. It is quite cool.
Sounds like a euphemism for like doing coke all night or something.
Yeah, is that Tower of London, and they bring like the keys, and they do like this whole thing, and there's a guard who stands there and he shouts like, "Hark, who goes there?" and like aims his rifle at the key bearer and all of this stuff, and it is cool.
Yeah.
But it's that British traditionalism thing. I think it once happened. It happened specifically at like 11 every night, like regardless.
Yeah.
And it once happened like 6 minutes late because during World War II a bomb landed in the middle of the Tower of London.
I think I was one of the guards.
Yeah.
So they deliberately left the light on. And then the like head of the tower, they were like, a bomb landed. He's like, I don't give a fuck. You're doing the ceremony, which is like it sort of is meant to be the story of like. And the British kept going, and we kept delivering the milk. And it's like, well, I think a bomb landing in the middle of any.
You can have a night off.
Yeah. Everyone go home early.
Yeah.
The bomb's gone off.
Is that where they keep all the Queen's bits?
Yeah, all the crown jewels. Have you ever been?
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
No,
I
what?
thought just her tits are there.
Her tits. Yeah. Gotta preserve her tits from formaldehyde. Like, whose cock do they have? They have someone's cock.
They've got cocks everywhere.
They don't have someone's cock in
They
the Tower of
do.
London.
They have some. No, not in the Tower of London, but they have someone's. It might be Caitlyn Jenner's. No, they have someone's cock in formaldehyde. Some famous figure.
Oh, it's who is it? Is it the guy? Who was the Russian like witch doctor guy who like took ages to kill?
Oh, Rasputin.
Yeah,
I
isn't
think
it
it's
Rasputin?
Rasputin's cock. Yeah, and then
He had a big cock, right?
I think
But it's
he
all
did.
shriveled up.
Man, I'd love my cock to be so big people preserve it.
Yeah.
No one's preserving my cock.
No.
Yeah.
No one's preserving my dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a jam out of it.
Yeah.
It would only fill up like a quarter of the jar anyway.
Yeah. If I wanted to like donate my penis to science, they'd be like, "You're good."
We've done enough experimentation. We figured out this field.
Yeah.
Well, I've always thought that like, you know, when people die, that they should be able to like if a man dies, he can donate his penis to a transgender man. You know what I mean?
But don't they just like, I don't know what they do. Don't they just like flip it inside out?
Well, for a vagina,
Flip it and
they
reverse
kind
it.
of flip it and reverse it to the windows, to the wall. But they, my understanding of it is what I got done.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking from experience,
Oh,
right?
yeah. That'd be so cool to just rock up with a pussy one day.
Yeah,
to the boys
yeah.
and be like, yo, boys.
Yeah, look at this.
Pussy.
Yeah.
No, but like female to male, they take it from your forearm. They take the skin from your forearm and they make a dick from your forearm.
But do you get a sexual sensation from that?
Yeah, because they take the clit and then they put the clit at the... It's amazing what they can do. They take the clit and they put it at the back of the head.
Wonders of modern medicine.
Yeah, I
man.
know. It's fucking amazing.
Wow.
And then with the vagina, then they take your cock and then like smush it down and they like cut it down the
Smush it
middle
down.
and then they
just
open it up.
tape it down.
Yeah, literally. They just with a bit of with a stapler. and they cut it down the middle and they go,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you fuck. It's crazy. Like,
That's
but
fucking.
they say that your body can reject.
Yeah, what's
the-
that Viking torture they used to do? Where they
Spread
like
eagle.
yeah, it's like they spread eagle your penis basically.
Hang on, what's that?
They would cut open your back and like open up your lungs so you were still breathing, but you were like, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus! It's like
Yeah.
the thing Idi Amin did, where he used to hang
Oh yeah.
lads
the
by
leg.
their nipples, like
Oh god.
the
He was,
two hooks in the nipples, and then they'd like.
But people love that. People like.
I was
doing
just gonna say, there's probably some people who are into that.
Imagine you did that to someone that's tortured and they just came.
that. Yeah, yeah.
You're like, tell us what you know, and they just came. all
Yeah,
over you. All right, back to the drawing
It's
board.
having the opposite effect.
I was seeing a woman once, and she was like, she invited me. She ran a sex dungeon,
Nice.
and she invited me, and I didn't go out of. I was like, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
because I'm quite vanilla.
Okay.
I'm a quantity over quality. I'm not like, and I don't want to find out. If I find out I enjoy being pegged while you make me call you mum,
Yes.
that you can't then like meet a hinge date
Right. Okay.
and go, and when they're like, you get back to hers, like the introduction to that.
Yes.
That's why like those BDSM was like I can totally understand why men pay and go for that, because like, I can't ask my wife to do this.
Yeah.
I can't 6 years into a marriage be like, hey, can you pour candle wax on the end of my cock?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I still need you to find me sexually attractive.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
And then also like, she's probably like, I don't want to have kids with this fucking guy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and oh,
you know,
God.
have a son. We're gonna have a son. He'll grow up and then he'll want fucking hot wax pour down his cock or whatever. So you didn't go to this sex dungeon
No,
thing?
I pussied out. I was too scared.
Wait, so when you say she runs it, what does that mean? She just like
She does something there. She I didn't really get into the like
Yeah.
HMRC levels
Right.
of.
But is she like an usher? She's like, oh, bring your cock this way, sir.
I think,
She guides the cocks in.
Yeah, yeah.
She was quite she's quite well known. She was quite a sort of well known person who like is in that world and goes and does all of those sort of things.
Right.
And we went on like a
Right.
few dates, and she was a really cool person, but I've like it's a funny thing whenever you date like an OnlyFans girl or something. They're really cool, but you find out how similar doing comedy is to their thing, because you just start talking about like, yeah, I got to post content. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, I put a clip up the other day. The audio wasn't great. And they're like, oh yeah, when I got jizzed on, we didn't quite get the angle. And you're like, it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
That was just you talking about your content.
yeah, like, and you just find out like, oh, everyone's job is kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about.
Yeah.
Everyone's bored at work. Like people listening to this now,
Yeah.
they're bored at work. Like when you speak to these girls and they're like going to do overnights with some guy or something, and they're just like, better clock on.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know.
But so have you dated like OnlyFans type?
Yeah,
Ladies, yeah.
a few. They're just cool because like I think if you're I don't know how to say this. I think if you go there with, you're not like, I think what you do is amazing.
Yeah.
But if you're like, yeah, it's a fucking job.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a fucking job.
Yeah.
Because like one thing I don't get now is, like I still follow a few of it. They'll post, because they were like it's come like quite a left wing feminist thing to do sex work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you'll be like looking at pictures of them with their tits out on Instagram, and then the next story is like free Palestine, and it's like, this isn't why I follow you.
Yeah.
I agree with the sentiment, but what is this?
Yeah, stay in your lane a little bit.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, yeah. Did you see Greta Thunberg is sailing to Gaza with humanitarian
Yeah, I saw
aid?
that Israel like we are allowing her to go there, but whatever happens happens.
But
Like
this
basically,
thing,
they're like,
the last two times a ship tried to sail in there once was in May, and then once was in 2010, and they got like bombed.
Oh, the 2010 one, like,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
huge. They stormed the ship.
Yeah, so like Greta Thunberg could die trying to get into Gaza.
I think that'd be a
that,
real.
that would World
that
War
would-
Three. That would be, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
a young
she's-
white lady gets killed. Like that's gonna.
She's not a renewable resource. You can't, you can't make another one.
She's not. No, there's only one of her. And
I hate the hatred towards her, and then I hear her speak, and I'm like, I hate her as well.
Yeah.
And then I go, I don't want to be on their side.
But it is funny,
Yeah.
like, because people are always like, when people sort of like post things, people are like, yeah, but you're just posting, you're not doing it. And then when people do it, like Greta, people are like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you can't. No one is
think
ever going to be happy what you
some
do.
of it is like what plays into is that she's young. She's a young girl. So people are like, what do you know?
Yeah, she's got time.
Shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah,
We're all idiots at 22.
Be a 50-year-old white man and we'll listen.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
when I'll. That's
Yeah,
when I'll.
I'll
She
take
could
it
become
seriously.
that.
What?
She might be.
She
By the
could.
time she comes back, she might be a 50-year-old white.
If Greta Thunberg
By the time
gets
she's released by Hamas.
her ship sails to Iran accidentally, and they're like, "There's,
To be fair,
only,
people-
there's only one thing we do here for this,
Yeah,
sweetheart." You know?
Get that burqa on you, and yeah. God,
Imagine she converted to Islam while over there.
you know what? You know they're onto something over there. Yeah, I mean the idea of her getting like kidnapped by Hamas, but like I'm picturing like that ship pulls into wherever in Gaza, it's just gonna be like fucking, you know, like 28 days later, the thing will just get swarmed by, you know what I mean?
People just.
I shouldn't have referred to them as
Swarmed.
zombies. But
Swarmed,
you've seen the
but-
videos at the
Yeah.
aid depots where the fucking
I think it is called a swarm of Jews.
a swarm of
Swarm. Well, these are yeah.
No, it's the
swarm.
Palestinians. Have you seen the videos of the?
Oh, you mean to get the food and
when
stuff.
they get to
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
Gaza and they're like, hey, and it's gonna be they're gonna, you know.
But I would do that if I was waiting on. Like I push in front of people waiting for a train, and
Yeah.
there's like one every 3 minutes. If I was
Yeah.
waiting 2 weeks for a bag of grain,
Yeah.
I'd fucking drag someone
Yeah.
out the way to get it. I
Yeah.
want my grain.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the boat's not even that big, so I don't know how much they're actually.
I think there's only like 20 people left there, so it might be alright.
by the time they get there, yeah, because they're landing, or they're supposed to get there by June 7th. So
I feel like that's going to
quite
be
a-
a new date that
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
remember June 7th.
We're running out of dates for this war, man.
Never forget.
always
June.
on the 7th for some reason. Yeah,
Once a month, there's a new date over there that just.
yeah.
But I think it is. You know, I don't know. Like it's such a fucking horrific topic where like an actual genocide is going on, and everyone's kind of agreed. Like I think we should not starve people to death,
Yeah.
and like bomb their schools and murder everyone there, except for everyone's government. So everyone else is like, all right, this is not okay.
All right, cut it out.
And then the governments are like, you know, it's complicated.
Yeah.
It isn't really that complicated. It's just someone go, hey, stop it, but.
Yeah.
And then you go through that thing of like, what am I meant to do? I knew a couple people who are on the like pro-Palestine marches, and they got added to WhatsApp groups. And one of the groups they were, and this is my problem with the left, having been raised on the left, is it's too inclusive.
Right.
It allows too many people to speak.
Right.
So what happens is the mentally ill
Are the loudest, yeah.
are allowed to speak.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, no, it's important we listen. And you go, not to, they are mentally ill.
Yes, yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
trans debate is, again, the optics of it. I agree with most of the trans. Like I agree. I think you should be able to get that surgery we're talking about on the NHS. I don't see why you shouldn't. But then what happens is they just allow like Blastoise in a dress to go, I want the keys to the women's bathroom. And you go,
Every women's bathroom.
every women's bathroom. And you go, all right. Right,
Yeah.
cut that out of the clip.
It's way easier to become just a janitor. To get a
Yeah.
job. Just
Because they
become-
see that in airports and stuff. They're like, these toilets are attended to by both
just
male
become a
and
janitor. It's way
female.
easier than cutting your
Yeah,
dick
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Instead of getting your dick off, have you considered a career
Yeah,
change?
yeah.
Yeah, but then I don't know what's more like depressing, like being a janitor and you know what I mean, or you know,
Yeah.
or being trans. I don't know which more.
Well,
like,
one of them is more permanent.
Yeah, one of them is more. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there's. I just had to laugh at this. There's like a girl in Ireland, right, and she was like, "I'm going on hunger strike." Until the people
you
of
lot love
Palestine,
a hunger
I
strike.
know, yeah. She's like, we're going on hunger strike. She's outside our like government buildings with a watermelon, and she was like,
Last meal.
No, I thought you were gonna say
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding that joke.
No,
I was like, no.
You're projecting. I wasn't thinking anything.
I thought that's where.
No.
My thought process was, but what if she gets so hungry she then eats the water?
That's what I was thinking. I
Yeah.
wasn't going.
Well, no, the thing was that she had the watermelon. She was like, I want the politicians to know that as soon as they, I know, okay, there's a thing called some act that was needed to be passed that would allow aid into Gaza or something. She was like, if the good people in there, they just pass this act, then something territories bill. I don't know what the name of it was. And then she's like, then I'll eat this. I'll end my hunger strike, right? And then it got to day 7 and she was just like, yeah, I'm ending my hunger strike. And I was just like, that's not a... And she was just like, oh, I started to feel unwell.
Yeah,
I was like, it's a fucking... It's a fucking hunger strike.
Bobby Sands and they said, you've just fasted.
Yeah, I've no energy. And she was a portly gal, so she could have. The bigger you are, the longer you can last on a...
Who's that Dr. No guy who does the 600...
What the fuck is it going?
Where he's like the 600-pound life or whatever, and he's like the guy. He's like, the big fat person will be like, I'm starving. And he's like, you've eaten enough for the next 6 months.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's just like you're fine. If you're fat, you're fine. You can eat. You can not eat for a long time.
She wasn't like massive, but like she would have been fine. Like 7 days.
Some vitamins.
And she was just like, oh, and then like the people in the comment section were just tearing her to shreds.
I feel everything now is such an economy of the culture war. That nobody actually, like online, nobody actually waits for evidence for their opinion anymore. They find out what their side thinks. And you see that with like the guy in Liverpool who drove through those people.
Oh, yeah.
Is everyone was like, oh, religion of peace at it again. Yeah. It came out, it was a white guy who'd been...
Paul Doyle.
Yeah, a white man in the pub, that Islamic stronghold.
So was he on crack or something? Like, what was the motive there? Because I still haven't figured...
I think he was, one of the charges was driving under the influence, so I think he was off his head on something, but...
Oh, what a bad come down that would have been.
Oh, God, you wake up in a prison, so it's like, oh, yeah. Like
was I a bit of a nuisance yesterday? I don't remember anything.
Yeah, he just thinks he got into like a bit of a knock outside of a chipper or something. Yeah. It's like, I can't remember what. But we want to be careful. We don't want to get fucking, attacked by fucking the city of Liverpool. Did you see what happened with Andrew Lawrence?
Oh, man. If everyone, with Andrew Lawrence, right, because this is a weird one as a comedian, if everyone had... He wanted that reaction.
Yeah.
That reaction feeds into what he does.
Yeah.
So... And I know it's hard because people, like the city of Liverpool is this great city where they really do have this like identity, and the fact that they still don't buy the Sun and stuff like that is great. But if everyone had just let that tweet die, because he does like his tour, he's not doing like huge places, or knocks on for touring, but he's not doing massive venues, nor am I. But you've now made him like a Lawrence Fox figure, where he gets to stay in the public eye and his social media feed goes up because he's like, you see, they are cancelling me, they are cancelling comedy. And I can understand Hot Water coming out and going, fuck you, you're not playing.
But they posted the joke though, which was so weird. Just say you're doing it, but they posted his actual joke. They're like, look how horrible this is. If it's that horrible, don't repost it.
Yeah,
I think more people saw it because
way more.
But I can understand that. But then when like the Comedy Store comes out and they're like, we're banning him too, and we don't like this joke, and I'm like, I've done the Holocaust jokes there.
Yeah,
but it's the
same with Hot Water. People have done horrible jokes there. It's all edgelord comics up there.
Someone made that point in the comment section of the Hot Water thing, being like, I've been at this club and people have made pedo jokes and Madeleine McCann jokes and 9/11 jokes, and it's an interesting point.
But it's the city. I can understand like a city attached to a comedy club attached to the Scouse identity going like, fuck this guy. I can understand that, and I'm not. The thing with Andrew Lawrence is the reason no one's sticking up for him is because he's been such a prick to everyone that nobody's gonna go to fight for him because everyone's like,
in general, like he's always been a prick.
He wrote. I don't know. But how long have you guys been doing stuff? How long have you guys been over here?
I've been
2 years,
3 years.
Oh, so he did this Facebook post about 10 years ago, which he might as well have tagged Ramesh in.
Right.
Where it was just moaning about like diversity on television and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was actually, which now everyone kind of does publicly.
Yeah.
He was kind of the first person to do it, but he wrote this quite scathing thing, and the whole comedy community sort of turned on him a little bit. And I think he got very angry at where he was in the industry, as you see for people who, this is inside baseball, but as people do in our job, where I think they get quite angry and then they like write a thing about. They write a scathing thing on Facebook, or they threaten to murder a woman on Instagram. We all have our ways of dealing with things.
So
I uploaded a clip earlier and accidentally put Many Men of 50 Cent playing on it. We all fuck up on social media. But he I think like sort of went for everyone, and it was rooted in a little bit of like fucking brown people, there was a bit of that to it.
He's such an odd looking bloke as well. I just get uneasy looking at photos of him. And also the Liverpool joke was just
not
a bad
good.
joke.
It was a bad.
He actually had a better joke on Twitter like after it, where he was like, I'm surprised people weren't jumping in front of the cars so they could claim disability. And
yeah, he's doubling down. I was like, fuck, man, he's going for it.
yeah, but that's a man who's doing it because he has nothing to lose, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you ever feel like doing that on Twitter? Just going out there, just tweet the N-word, delete the app. Yeah. Just sit there, have a glass of wine,
See you later, folks.
Just roaring.
Yeah. Well, it's like
There's just chaos going on in your.
Well, it's like that story about that white woman
on the plane
was flying from America to Africa, and she was like,
now that was a good
yeah,
joke.
she's like, just getting on a flight to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS.
Joke, I'm white. Put her phone down, took a Xanax, had a wine, woke up and had lost her job. She got interviewed by John Ronson. He did this book called "You've Been Publicly Shamed."
Yeah, I haven't read it, but
it's a really good book about. I listened to 30 minutes of it on Audible. I loved it, and then not enough to listen to the rest apparently, but but it was, he goes and like speaks to these people and interviews them. But I think there is this, you know, and I know it is. Talking about cancel culture has become so boring. It's become so tiring, I think, or this dichotomy we're in at the minute where someone says a joke and there's this argument and you just go, like, I don't, people ask your opinion on it, like, I don't know if I have one.
Yeah.
Like,
what your opinion after you tell a joke and people are like, well, what's your actual opinion? Is that what you're saying?
No. Or like someone losing work because they told a joke. I go like, yeah, I mean, you know, we're all held responsible for things, and you know, people get, but it's comedy, and it's, and you're like, yeah, but once you say something and there's a reaction to it, that is a part of an art form. So, do I think you should lose all your work? Probably not. But also, what did you know?
Yeah, if it causes everyone to hate you, then it's like there's nothing you can.
Yeah,
like,
which is what
if you still have a fan base, then it doesn't matter. Like it's like,
but for him, it wasn't even a thing of like. Some people sometimes that happens to people and it just makes them more popular.
That's what I think is happening to him. It's like Joey Sadovitz.
Oh, I've heard mythical stories about his shows, but I've never.
He had a joke where he said the P word, and the Pleasance like kicked in. And this is my favorite.
I thought you said the P word was the Pleasance.
No.
yeah.
He did a show where he said it, and like I think the joke was actually about the word or something. Which again, I think, if you're going to have an art form, you should be allowed to explore these things. And then he, you know, it's the same way Daniel Kitson did a joke mentioning it at the Roundhouse years ago, and like there was a Guardian article about it and stuff. And like I think anyone sort of would read the articles and go, I think this person missed the point of what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Rather than they just heard a word and got quite reactionary. But you know, they both do. But Sadovitz, I think, did the Apollo after that.
Right. Okay.
Like people were like,
well, there's an appetite for that. Just saying absolutely. There's a guy.
hey man, I built a little career on. That's my bread and butter.
You know this guy Ben Bankus from Canada? Do you know this guy? Lad, he is really blown up from the. There's a Canadian politician called Olivia Chow, and she's Asian. And his whole career is just like, he does an impression of her.
Right.
And he just goes on, I'm Olivia Chow. And he's like, he fucking blew up. And then he's on stage, he has clips, and people are like, you're bringing back real comedy. And it's just him on stage. It's just him on stage, and he like, so there's like, the other clip I saw the other day, he was just like, some woman, like a brown woman in the audience, like heckled him. So it's not funny or whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, shut up, curry tits, or something. And the crowd was like, woo! And then people in the comment section were like, you're bringing back real comedy, bro. And then it's like, what? It's like,
say slurs.
He's just saying, yeah. And he just like, you just watch the clip and you're like, here's Asian voice is coming at some point. And then she shoehorns an Asian voice into every fucking clip. Like, it just at any opportunity, he'll just throw it. He just puts an Asian guy in the story so you can be like, oh, or whatever.
To be fair, you would love to do that.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I mean, I do it every episode of this thing, but on stage is another thing. I mean, like, when I started stand-up, I would definitely, you know, I was like 25. And I've said this, like, on stage and stuff. Like, at that age, that was like Trump 2016. Like, I got, like, sucked into that. And I was like, this is the guy. You know what I mean?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because it was like a knee-jerk thing to, like, I think that was the start of quote unquote wokeness, and you can't say this and you can't say that, and I think there was a knee-jerk reaction to that where like this guy came in and was just like fucking saying whatever, and I think I was just young and dumb, and I was like, yeah, fucking this is the guy, and I think, I was on Instagram at the time and I only had like a few hundred followers, but I was posting mad shit.
Oh,
and I had to like
really?
retroactively go back and like delete some. And I'm not saying like I didn't post slurs or fucking anything, but just like real edgelordy fucking like stuff to just deliberately like wind people up. And I cringe thinking about it.
What made you sort of like? What do you think it was? Was it a reaction thing to the left and like the woke?
Yeah, it was just that. I think I just it was just but then I got sucked in by like, you know, and now I just look back and they're all fucking grifting retards. Like, you know, I got sucked in by like what's his name? Stephen Crowder, Charlie Kirk. There's this other guy, not Alex Jones, but there's a guy who works for InfoWars.
Was it the little British lad?
Not him. He has a beard and he's kind of like a handsome dude and something.
Wait,
Schaefer,
is he the one who did like the What Is a Woman or whatever film where he goes?
Matt Walsh is another guy.
Yeah,
he did What Is a Woman. And I just got sucked into all of that, and then I was just like, oh fucking, you know what I mean? Like I was like pro-life. I was like, you gotta what? Like what? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not involved in that. I'll never be in a situation where I get a woman knocked up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only if a woman rapes me. That's the only way I'll ever get a woman pregnant. You know what I mean?
But did you not look at him as a gay dude and go like, because it's like my thing in a minute where everyone goes like, we need to step away from Islam, and I'm like, yeah, conservative religion sucks on any part.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. It's like no to Sharia law, but bring back Christianity to the UK. And it's like we're secular for a reason.
Yeah.
We stepped away from that because like we had like 1,000-year period of everyone murdering each other.
Yeah.
For being Catholic or Protestant,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you guys have done a bit of that as well.
Yeah.
And so we kind of are like, hey, maybe this shouldn't be in the court system. This is a dumb way to run things. So did you ever look at that and be like, but these guys don't really like me either?
Oh yeah, I realized the hypocrisy in that. But then there's like Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah, I was into Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah. I like the sort of because they're funny. These guys are funny, like Gav McInnes. This is
really
prior. This is prior to Proud Boys and all that stuff. And he was the guy who founded
Proud Boys like a joke thing.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was invented on.
But did it become real? Like right?
It's like I used to. Okay, so when I was a teenager, because I was a fat little emo incel, I used to go on 4chan a lot.
Right.
And like most of the jokes on there were like, ha ha ha, we're Nazis, and it's like, ha ha ha, pretending to be a Nazi is funny. Being a Nazi is not funny. But pretending to be one is funny. And then I remember watching that Unite the Right rally. This was sort of like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
And next to the hardcore fascist, like pure white supremacist, was dudes who clearly went to it as like a bit. And I was like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, don't actually like do that. Because I got sucked into that. I used to listen to that guy Sargon of Akkad.
That guy. Yeah.
He used to do really good and he'd be really like pro Corbyn on some of his stuff. He would actually be very like, you know, he was quite good at going through the middle or something and being like, this is a non-news story, this is sensationalism, report actual news. Which I think is when like that woke stuff and growing up and being in, especially being in comedy at that time, surrounded by that woke environment, it was taxing, it was boring, and people were sick of it. But the right now is just as doing their version of that, and I think the center ground's gone a bit like, this is fucking insane as well. Like, you guys are all crazy.
Well, that's the thing I thought about the right back then, or the conservative people, is that like, oh, these guys are the people that are like telling the truth, because they'll go to these college campuses and they just find the crazy, like you said, like the worst examples of the left, like just crazy trans people with fucking, oh, I'm this and that, and there's 100 genders and whatever, and then it'd be like these videos like SJW gets owned or destroyed or whatever, and I just got to watch them. And also 19. Like people on the right are funny as well, you know what I mean? Like conservative, like Gav McInnes is fucking hilarious.
Andrew Tate did a thing,
but they're not funny anymore because
it's not funny because you're aware now.
No, because it's like because Trump's in,
they're in power.
They they become the lame ones.
Well, that's why the left now it's like funny to be left wing again, because you could point at their things.
Yeah.
Where there was like a time in comedy or like a time in anything where you were like left wing and you had to be like, I'm not. Man, I just think like people shouldn't go hungry and should be able to afford electricity.
Yeah.
I don't care about this other shit because it's. And I was chatting to like, sorry about this, Cody the other day. It's why there's always like a union tries to get started in this job. And again, I apologize for being inside baseball. And or something happens at the Edinburgh Fringe where it is expensive, and I don't know how working class people will be able to afford to go to this thing, nor do I know how working class people will be able to afford to go to an arts festival and get inspired by it. And that then leaves it, as you've seen with the music industry and all of this, to be dominated by nepo babies like myself and other people and people who are rich. And you've literally got daughters of oligarchs up there,
Right.
like going like, it's hard being a woman.
Yeah,
And it's like, your dad bombed Chechnya. What the fuck are you on about? What the fuck are you talking about?
That was pretty awesome, but you know what I mean? I did a gig the other night with and there was a female comic, and she was like, we were talking about something, and then she'd been in Berlin, and there's an owner of a club in Berlin who like had this habit of like all of his assistants that he hired were just like hot women in their early 20s.
Great.
And she'd just done a solo show there. And I was talking, and I was like, oh yeah, I could tell you stories about him. And then I told her that, and then she just kind of went on off in this thing, and then she was just stood up and she was like, yeah, it's just impossible to be a woman these days. And then I was just like, one of those things where you're like,
Impossible.
I don't know what the thing to say now is. So I just kind of stared off into the distance, because like anything I'm gonna say is gonna fucking make that situation 10 times. If I go, but it's gonna seem so disingenuous.
I think it's a thing of in stand-up is that, or like in the world, there are creepy men and women have it so much. Like I was in the coffee shop earlier. I go right in a Costa in Thornton Heath, and there's a shit place, but it's there, so I go right in it. And this guy came in and he bought a juice, and the girl working at the till, it was £2.50, and it was like £2.50. That's really expensive. He's like, fucking hell. He went, do you come with it? And she had to do that. And I want to be like, dude, she doesn't set the prices at Costa.
Yeah.
Nor does she give a fuck.
Cost of
Like
living.
about, she wants you to just buy the juice and leave so she can go back on her phone. That's what she wants. And that must be exhausting to be a woman, where there's this thing that can kill you chatting to you. And that's where it's like, being a woman is hard. Sometimes though, the complaints, especially in our job, are things like, I don't get booked there. And it's like, okay, and they're like, you know, and they need to, and it's like when Lucy, what's her name, came
Letby?
out, but Lucy Letby, the child killer, in our job,
I thought,
Lucy Letby went, you know what? She was, what happened to her? She was a really good comedian.
Great writer.
Do you know what I love? There's a dude out there who's had a one night stand with her who can never talk about it.
Fuck off.
God, dude, imagine being the guy who pulled Lucy Letby, and then like 3 years later, you're like, that's that bad bitch I pulled in the club. And then you're like, she did what now?
Wow. Fuck, man, that's insane.
Allegedly, she might get off.
That's what I heard.
I
heard that.
I had a pal who was into that conspiracy early on.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, man. And then he keeps like messaging fucking C. Because he was like, it's NHS. He was going early on like, it sounds more like NHS negligence than it did.
That's what the N stands for.
Thank God it's that. But yeah, like people. I think like you do have to put up with that thing now where everyone goes like, it's so hard being this. I had a chat with a female comic one time, and she was like, I'm just not going to these towns and gigging to these white men because they don't want to hear what I have to say. And I'm like, they don't want to hear what any of us have to say.
That's funny.
That's where you would get good, is because you have to go up to fucking some place outside of Hull where everyone's 50 and they fucking hate you. And they've turned up, because British people love nothing more than turning up and having a miserable time. Like we love that. We want it to be shit. We want to go to something and go, that fucking sucks.
Right.
We get more enjoyment out of that than if it's good.
I relate to that. It's like when I go to. It's like when I didn't like, what was the film? Like I still enjoy.
Sinners.
I still enjoy.
I still don't
You guys
know if
are a
you're
bunch
being
of
honest or
racists.
not. No, it's.
I loved it.
Well, fuck that movie, Sideways. I just.
But like I still enjoy. Like I still like that I watched. Like I enjoy hating it.
I love hate. Me and Hamish hate watch stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible we went to see Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
I can honestly say, one of the most dog shit things I've seen in cinema.
Loved it.
It was a bit,
So bad. It doesn't make any sense.
it's a bit
But
kind of like.
no, because this is like so. This is like, imagine a script supervisor coming up to Tom Cruise, and he's like, you know, this part of the script doesn't make sense. Tom Cruise is just like, you're fired. Like all he cares about is the stunts, and it's just like, how do we get there? I don't care. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like they did one take of all those dialogue scenes.
Yep.
And they did fucking 40 of the stunts. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't care about any of that.
And he should have gotten a haircut
Yeah,
that
I
movie.
agree
that
with
was
I
bad,
agree
yeah.
He
with
looked
that.
like my granny. Like, is that kind of just vague, sort of medium length hair? He just looked fucking ridiculous.
Well, the
like.
film was all about him. It was all like him just being a star. So he's
Saving
in
the
like
world.
every scene is just him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also, because the entity, like the bad guy in it, is an AI thing, they then have to invent like another bad guy
Yeah.
who doesn't really have any weight on the film. So they have to reintroduce him so he can do a stunt. And you just go, this doesn't make any sense. And it's like 2 hours, 50 minutes of nothing really happening. And then there's a scene where he like goes like 1,500 feet underwater and just sort of swims out, loses his
and he's like spazzing out when he's getting to the top.
Doesn't get in it, but doesn't like implode.
Yeah.
Doesn't like burst into like, you know, just a pile of mush like as he has to
But
come
they
up
had
under pressure.
what was it called? The
submersible?
inflatable. No, the thing that regulates him when he gets up, like the blow up thing that they used. What
Oh,
was
I was
it?
talking about the little magic Eskimo lady who
saved
saved the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say Eskimos anymore. Inuit.
Why can't you say Eskimo?
You can't say Eskimo anymore.
Well, what the fuck are they gonna do?
I know, yeah. I don't
seen
think
any
they're on
Eskimos lately?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you know that scene with the submarine, they fucking had a real submarine in a lake filming that. Like the outside stuff where it's rolling and shit. Like
Jesus.
all that shit's real.
I'd love if the
It's
producer
fucking
was just like,
insane.
Tom, we can't build an actual submarine and put it. Like,
You're
we have
fired.
CGI. He's like, get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah. You're fired.
Tom,
No,
you
but
can't-
CGI looks shit. It's CGI is still not as
Yeah,
good
no,
as
I
the real thing.
appreciate the effort that goes into
Yeah,
it.
he
Like,
did the stunt, but at the same time, it must be taxing to just be a director on that film and go, hey, Tom, the thing is just like the insurance covering this because you might die.
Yeah.
We could just do a green screen and some really good guys, and he's like, get the fuck out of my office.
You know-
Get the fuck out of He's like, but it's just like, that's going to cost $30 million.
Yeah.
And this is going to cost $3 million just from the economical standpoint
Yeah.
of making a film and recuperating the money. Get out of it.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
yeah. But even like I watched.
I'm sure that's how he wants to die. Is like doing a stunt. Like he'll be 70 on a fucking like, he wants to go out that way.
Do you
Sure,
think
dying in the. Huh?
Do you think he's gay? Do you
Tom
get
Cruise.
gay? Do you think he's gay?
Tom
That was
Cruise
always a
and-
thing, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
because and whenever there's that many rumors, like who was the other one? The guy
John
from-
Travolta?
Travolta.
Yeah, John.
I think he groped a masseuse or something.
No, he was. I think he was like trying to angle for a happy ending. He did it a lot. Like he was kind of always pushing his ass back against his hand and stuff like that.
Didn't someone kill themselves, like claiming there's like a suicide because of John Travolta? Allegedly, again.
Oh, wow.
I got done with like.
They got
I got
suicided.
threatened with contempt of court this week with a bit of
Oh,
content
wow.
I put out. So
Oh really? Yeah.
no,
Why?
no.
What can you say?
Well, I
Hint
did.
at-
I put up a video about something, and like a very kind journalist got in contact with me and went, "Hey, you've committed contempt of court here. Just to let you know, because the video was doing well." She went, "The better this does, the more likely you are to be charged."
Right.
And I went, "Oh, it's an old video." And then she went, "You're currently running a poll in the comment sections about if the person's guilty." And I was like,
Is this
"Oh,
a thing that you're involved with?
No.
Surely that's not true.
No, if someone in the UK has been charged with something, I literally only just found this out, and then I sent it to an ex of mine who's a lawyer, and because I was like, could I get done for contempt of court? And she like explained it to me, and then I sent her the video, and she went, I would take that down.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah.
Wow.
She went, and the only reason I took it down because it could potentially fuck up the thing. Like you could make me, a lawyer would then start arguing all of this. Like, and again, this all allegedly happened. I'm making it up.
Right. Yeah.
But you can, I didn't know, because that's what Tommy Robinson got done for.
Yeah.
That's why when everyone's like freedom of speech, he went outside a court during a trial of like a grooming gang and started filming it, and that's super illegal, which nobody knew.
Recording
But,
in the courtroom.
Because he's not a journalist.
No.
But he does this, I'm a fucking journalist now.
Yeah.
I'm a journalist. I'm free speech, Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
And he turns up in like some Stone Island snipped
Yeah.
out of his face going, they don't want you to see this. And the government's like, yeah, we don't. It's a court case.
Yeah.
It's important.
So funny how he's like, I'm not fucking racist, and then just the minute you kind of see him in like when he doesn't think he's on camera or something, you're like, this guy's fucking.
He's such a grifter.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
What is he playing a character?
No, he's just like, I'm not fucking racist. I'm just like, I'm worried about the Islamification of Britain or whatever. But when you see him, I think when like he's involved in like a riot or marching, you can see that he's really dialing it down when he's on camera, like how much he hates Muslims.
Oh, he's dialing it down.
He's dialing it down. yeah. You see him in March, he's like, "You fucking," and you're like, "All right, that's the real Tommy Robinson."
Okay.
He's dialing it down.
I thought you meant it was the other way. Like he's just like this chill guy, but he realized he could make money doing this.
Well, he does.
That's what he does. He's like backed by all these lobbyists and stuff. I think.
Is he in prison right now?
No, he just got released.
Just got released, yeah.
But everyone of his like fans who's like, they put him in jail for speaking the truth. And then you look through the list of things that he's charged with, and it's like assault and battery.
Yeah. He's a scumbag.
He like turned up. I think he turned up to a journalist's house to like intimidate them. Again, allegedly.
I'm a journalist.
Yeah,
he's over their bed with a hammer. I'm a journalist.
I'm a fucking journalist. It's like someone being in a football hooligan fight, and then when they're arrested, going, "I was just a journalist." I was just.
Yeah, I'd love if he converted.
I'm Elijah Wood in Green Street.
Yeah. God,
he's a journalist.
He's I just love it. Tommy Robinson converted to Islam in prison.
He has the option to do the funniest thing ever.
Come out as
a Muslim and go, guys. Started hanging out with him.
Yeah, it's like American History X.
There's a lot of, as you know, when I sat down and had a chat.
American History extremism.
He just comes out like, they got some points. They got some points. Man.
That would be fucking great. But the Elijah Wood in Green Street have you seen Green Street?
Yes. Yeah, a long time ago.
It's just such a miscasting of like, his agent's like, we're going to get you out of people when people think that you're Frodo.
Yeah.
And we're going to get you in this thing and you're going to be a football hooligan.
He's an American that goes to the UK, right? That's the plot. And then he gets somehow wrapped up in
his brother-in-law.
His brother-in-law is leader of the Green Street firm, which is based on like the inner city firm at West Ham. And then they do like a whole like West Ham Millwall thing. But it's an entertaining film. There's a film. Have you ever seen Rise of the Footsoldier?
No,
man, you have to see this film,
right? Because
it is hands down the worst film I've ever seen made.
Right. Okay. Well, then I don't think I have seen it.
Just if you understand like anything like basic script writing, you can't have this film. Like this film shouldn't exist because what's annoying about it is it's directed well. There's some of the actors can act in it, some can't.
Yeah.
But every scene, there's 2 scenes in it. Basically, it's a 2.5 hour film. Every scene is one of 2 things: setting up someone getting punched in the face, someone getting punched in the face. There's a scene where he punches a judge in the face, jumps out the window and hops on the back of a motorbike.
And is this about football hooligans?
He starts out as like a football hooligan in it and then works his way up as a doorman. But the problem is the main character in it, who's based on, I forget his name, Carlton Leach, based on Carlton Leach, who's like one of the leaders of the inner city firm. His character, whereas like if you watch Goodfellas, Henry Hill's kind of lost in it. He's like, they're all crazy around him, and he's involved, but he's not involved in the murders. He's not involved in these things. He's kind of shocked by it all, but finds himself stuck in it. So there's like a redeemable quality to him, even though he's a scumbag himself and rats on everyone.
Yeah.
This film, the main character isn't redeemable.
Yeah.
So when everyone else is around him and you're like, it's meant to be like, this guy's an arsehole. There's a scene as well where the Turkish mafia inject people with truth serum. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And
what, Besiktas FC or something?
No. Just the Turkish mafia, some heroin goes missing. And there's the Turkish mafia are not in the film up until this point. And they turn up, we're going, our heroin had gone missing. So he goes, oh, we better inject everyone with truth serum and find out what's happening. And you go, truth serum isn't a thing.
It's just MDMA.
That's not a thing. It is hands out. And like, again, not to be woke, but there's a scene where he like beats up his wife. And then this is the main character commits domestic violence.
Yeah.
And then he goes, to leave, and she's like, "Don't leave. I want your big hard cock back in me. You're such a real man." You're like, was there no women in the room? You didn't like have one woman read the script. I know we got to do the Bechdel test, but like there wasn't one.
That would not be in a movie.
You can't.
Yeah. When did this come out?
Yeah.
Oh, like 10 years ago. It's the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's loved by like fucking idiots.
Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, they love it. They're like, oh, amazing film.
Is Vinnie Jones in it?
No, he's in number 4.
There's 4.
He's in number 4.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's like Fast and Furious.
he's in Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins. There's Rise of the Foot Soldier, Rise of the Foot Soldier 2, then there's Rise of the Foot Soldier Marbella, which does seem like they just used BFI money to go to Marbella. That does seem what happened. They just got like funding for a film. Like basically what happened is they went to a film and they went, hey, we can pay for a guy to like do the sound mixing, or we can all go quad biking on Tuesday.
Right.
And they all went, let's go quad biking.
Yeah.
There's a number 5's coming out, Ibiza. Like they're just
Is it really?
I swear to God.
Oh my God.
And it's about football hooliganism in like it's not even about that anymore.
I don't know what it's about anymore. It's based on the guys who got murdered in the Range Rover murders in Essex, which was one of them was Tony Tucker, one of them was I can't remember the other guy's name, but they were like gangsters in Essex. Do you guys know the Leah Betts case?
No.
So Leah Betts was a girl who took ecstasy. This was like before I was born, but she took like an ecstasy pill, overhydrated on it. She was the daughter of a cop. She died. That was in Essex. And I don't know if they know who did the murders or not, but that was kind of linked to it. And these guys were known drug dealers in the area who were like committing all sorts of like violence. And they went to supposedly do a drug deal and they all got like killed by someone shot them all in a Range Rover.
Okay.
And that in the film's about them.
Okay.
But but they all like spoiler, they all die at the end and you're meant to feel like empathy towards them and you're like, these are some of the worst people I've ever seen in my life. They're fucking horrible.
Yeah. Now, that reminds me, there's a movie with Will Smith in it where they're pickpockets. And I think Margot Robbie's in it. And you're just like, you just steal from, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Wait, what film, what's it called?
I don't know. And then also casting a black guy as a you know what I mean? As a thief, as a professional thief. I mean, come on now. I think we've moved past that. But
isn't that Now You See Me?
No, there's Now You See Me, which is really stupid as well.
Oh, is that the heist film where they do magic?
Yeah, where they do magic, where they're all pedophiles.
Whoa.
No, I'm just joking. The only reason that came into my head is that Vittorio has a joke in his show where he's just about all magicians are pedophiles, so that's where my mind went. But there's Now You See Me, which is where they just use magic to rob banks and stuff, which is just fucking retarded. And then Will Smith and they're just professional pickpockets. And they're just so irredeemable because you're like, that's your job. You just steal from people, and they're like, at least with like like Ocean's. All these movies are stealing from like these ultra wealthy casinos and evil people or whatever. But in this movie, it's just like, I fucking hate Will Smith. His new music as well.
Yeah,
it's fucking.
His mask has slipped, hasn't it, over the slap thing? And I think that was, I don't know. I think that did like he'll be back because no one liked Tom Cruise 10 years. Everyone Tom Cruise went ultra Scientology.
When he was jumping on the couch.
Yeah, everyone kind of turned away from Tom Cruise as like this guy's fucking psychotic.
Yeah,
and then his PR team had done a great job because Tom Cruise rocks. Tom Cruise rocks. He's
saw him at the Champions League final, chilling with Beckham, and he was hugging everyone. I was like, this guy.
But Beckham rocks as well now. Like Beckham's back to like everyone's like this guy fucking rocks.
Was he hated for a while?
He cheated on his wife with the babysitter or something.
I've heard like allegedly I've heard it's like sort of just a marriage of.
Oh, they play around. There's a big beef going on now with Brooklyn. It's not part of he doesn't want to be part of the family anymore.
I know, but who really gives a fuck about that?
I do.
I really care. There's a huge Brooklyn Beckham poster, candles, shrine of the Brooklyn.
What is it with British families and they have to excommunicate themselves from their family? Just don't hang out with your family. You don't have to be like, I'm leaving the family.
I'm leaving.
I'm not coming back.
I think his brother shagged his ex or something.
That's not.
I think Romeo Beckham is now going out with Brooklyn's ex or something mad. And then Brooklyn's like, well, fuck you, and then he bounced and. Yeah, poor bastard is.
We love it. Yeah, we love in this country because Britain is the world's biggest reality TV show with the royal family. It's just a massive reality TV show.
Yeah,
and it's a great reality TV show. They might have killed a woman.
Yeah.
It's. They probably didn't.
Made smart choices.
Yes.
They probably didn't.
You're talking about Virginia Guffey, right?
Oh, her.
I thought
they've killed two.
Oh yeah, they killed two women.
Well, the Virginia Guffey one's bizarre, but I think that's so brazen. I don't think they did it.
Right.
I don't even know who that is.
The girl who accused Prince Andrew of.
Was this recent? Oh, right.
She killed herself recently.
She was in a car crash.
Yeah, but there was a suicide.
The MO.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She killed herself and she was like, I'm gonna die. And then I was like, you'll be fine.
Because they can
And then-
hack like modern cars now to fucking.
Can they?
Really?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just made that up.
No, they can fully do that. Like like they can.
Do not redeem.
Well, I don't know that for sure, but I've heard that someone said that, and I believe it. I'm going with
You
it.
said that, I believe it. That's how this
Yeah.
I
happened.
saw a
Yeah.
TikTok for a second.
Yeah, they just.
But
yeah, they
surely
just-
with like electric cars, yeah, you will be able to just go.
I like it if they can do that, and the guy who's like killing him just has an Xbox controller.
No.
They're just like
Right.
playing
Hold
GTA,
down
just
R2
like
and just
yeah.
fucking-
Like the Titan submersible thing.
Oh,
I
that was a great week.
that was a good week.
I love it when a tragedy happens and the world goes, this is funny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
This is the Titan submersible was. They did what?
Yeah, they went down there in a fucking tube of Pringles. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
They spent more money on
Once you
Tom
pop, you can't
Cruise.
stop.
More money was spent on Mission Impossible's Tom Cruise fake submarine
Yeah,
than
yeah.
was on that actual
Actual
submarine.
Yeah. It's fucking hilarious. But now, like, I love when there's a little bit of. Now, like, my focus is going to be Greta Thunberg getting to Palestine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's going to keep me going for a few days. Where it's like, oh, I have something. It's like a TV show.
So they have a
now.
little tracker for her. You can.
There is a
watch.
tracker. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
that's
yeah,
great.
Yeah. There's a tracker, and then they.
Makes it easy for the IDF to
Yeah,
fucking.
well, this is what there was also Liam Cunningham from Game of Thrones, the Irish actor. He's also on the boat. So I don't know why he's obviously an activist or something. And then fucking last night they were doing all these videos being like, there's a drone over us, and they were being followed by a drone. And then it turned out it was just like the Greek fucking they were going past Greece, and it was like the Greek Air Force that was like keeping an eye on them. But you can track the boat on I don't know, they've just gone past Greece, and I don't know how far they're gonna get, but like something would be so funny about Greta Thunberg getting killed. I don't know, getting killed by the IDF.
Yeah, it was-
It's just,
yeah, it would
I didn't have that on my bingo
Yeah.
for 2025. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
Greta
IDF
Thunberg
murdered-
gets blown up by the
Yeah, yeah,
IDF. That just wasn't on my fucking bingo
they
card.
won't do
It
it.
was on
She's-
my wish list.
Yeah.
She's-
It wasn't on my bingo card. It was on my wish list.
She's too old for them to kill now anyway.
They're like, we're going to bomb Greta Thunberg's like, how old is she? 22. Ah, too
It's a
old.
waste of a missile.
Yeah. No, there's a kid we could blow up with
Yeah,
that. Yeah, it's like Bono. Bono was on Joe Rogan there last week.
I've tapped out of Joe. I used to
I've
be
tapped
the
out
biggest,
of Joe
I
Rogan.
used to be the biggest Joe Rogan fan,
Same,
and I can't
same.
do it anymore. I can't.
He's insufferable.
But I watched it because
Vaccine, man.
Bono was on it. Bono, I was like, I have to watch. Like, Bono is such a tool. Like, and he's just name dropping. Like, he name drops every historical figure like that he's met. He's like, yeah, I once fucking went fishing with fucking, you know, and he just everyone's just 3 hours of him name dropping. But he's the most pretentious fucking cunt ever. And he now has he's promoting his one man show that he did on Broadway, and you can watch it. I watched about 20 minutes of it. It's just him talking about his life with songs, and he's acting.
oh,
It's
no.
so bad. It is so cringy. It's called
Bono.
Songs of Surrender or something. And you're like, lad, shut up.
But that's the problem with that level of fame is no one around you can go, don't do this, man.
Yeah.
Because then they're out of the
Yeah.
entourage. They're out. They're negative. It's like when people are like positive vibes only. No, you need some negative vibe.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Do you guys know Tom Skinner? He's like the guy who goes, Bosh!
Oh,
and
right,
he's always, I'm the governor. I put a gravy without looking.
Right.
Bosh! Right.
Right,
And he was on
okay.
The Apprentice. And he put up a picture of him in a MAGA cap this morning.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's like clearly, I would guess, reform UK. I've seen him tweet some stuff where he talks about like Britain's a sleeping lion, and also he went on this morning and like he went up against someone who was like, you know, the English flag is like patriot, and he was quite good at going like, no, I fucking love the England. I think everyone, if you live in England and you want to support the team, you should, which I
Yeah.
do kind of have a thing of like, when people go, it is a sign of oppression. And you're like, it's a 6-year-old wanting Jude Bellingham to score.
You're right,
He
yeah.
doesn't know about what we did in Africa.
Right.
He just exists. Now, I'm aware I'm explaining this to an Irish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but,
but-
yeah, no.
No, I'm
that is-
retired. I know nothing about anything, really.
But then he put up a picture of him in a MAGA hat, and then like, as his response to like defend it was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to spread positive vibes. Didn't mean to cause a war in my comments to the woke brigade." And you're like, yeah, but dude, spreading positive vibes isn't a thing. It's not an actual, I just come on social media and I want to help everyone.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. You want to be famous. That's why you're here. I'm on social media because I want to be famous and sell tickets through the job I do. That's why I go on social media. You want to go on social media. And then he once tweeted that, like, the government in the Cobra meetings, which is the high-level security meetings, talk about his tweets and, like, they should ring him about what to do about stuff. And I was like, why would MI5 ring the guy who goes, boss?
Yeah. What was he claiming that?
Yeah. Like as if they were gonna go, hey, there's an ISIS terror cell here in the UK. Let's get who should we get for this? Well, there's only one man for the job. Yeah, that guy who pours gravy without looking. Well, we need to go give ISIS some positive vibes. The boss.
The Bosch. Get the Bosch guy on the phone. Alright guys, that was Elliot Steele. Follow Elliot on Instagram and check out his special on YouTube, Carrying the Boats. If you'd like to continue listening to this episode, head on over to the Patreon for €3.50 a month. It'd be greatly appreciated. Also on the Patreon, there is a video of me and Hamish confronting Chris about his shits. He left shit stains on the toilet cistern thing the other day, and also on the shower curtain. So we confronted him and we got it on video. And what else is on there? Oh, my the wedding speech I made at my brother's wedding. There's a few little cool things on there, and obviously extra episodes every week. What else? Yes, support the Patreon, that'd be greatly appreciated. And as always, rate the podcast on Spotify. And tell people about the pod, that'd be greatly appreciated. And what else? I know I'm forgetting something here. You fucking idiot, Rob. You fucking idiot. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Let's just leave it at that. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week. Bye.